Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's live SEO Q&A session with me and Mr. Chris Palmer, SEO, sponsored by The News Guy. The link is below. That's Mr. Randy Roday, who is marketing himself now as The News Guy, offering amazing PR services if you want to get links, a great client deliverable, brand exposure, and all the other kind of link equity and other stuff that comes with it. So do check that out below. But we are here to answer your questions. So also let us know where you're from in the chat and put your questions in the chat as well. We'll work through them as first come, first served basis. And that is it. The promotion is over.
It's over.
Yeah, and we're also late because of Chris.
That's true.
but before we do anything, Chris, before I forget, in my mastermind, I've just looked at the WhatsApp literally just before I came on here, and one of the chaps asked a question that I've never been asked before, and I did want to know your take on it. Now, he knows that if a page links to the same page twice, Google will use the anchor text for the first link it finds. So that's something linking to your page. So if a link, let's say a guest post, if that guest post has two links to the same page in my website, Google's going to call the first one, use that anchor text, and pretty much ignore the second one, the second link. Now, that's his understanding of how that works. Now, what his question is, when you're thinking about diluting the link value from your own website and you link out twice, would you be draining twice as much power? If you're linking out to the same website, so let's say I'm linking out to google.com and there's two google.com links on my page, am I dropping double the power, in your opinion? Or is Google clever enough to say, that's just a link to Google and that's it?
It's an authority outbound. I think they're clever enough to understand that there's going to be certain brand links, right? Like the social media, link into your maps. Would I be concerned or overly concerned about losing equity? No. Like, would I follow them? No, I wouldn't. I would still keep them do follow. I'd link to those assets. Now, if I was linking to other guys like me, I'd be more cautious with that, you know? But linking to my own stuff that's high authority, nah. Do you think you're losing power by doing that? No.
No, he's basically asking if you'd be losing power if you link out to the same website twice on the same page. So he's worried about, you're giving link equity away by doing it once, but if you do it twice to the same fucking website, are you draining double the power?
I don't believe so, because it's one referring domain. However, the piece with the anchor text, though, I don't believe that to be true. They'd only credit one. Not in my experience. You're going to get credit for both anchor texts. Now, one might drop out of the tool, but I'm going to get credit for both anchors. In fact, if you're doing like a monthly or some type of link rental, we want to vary that anchor text each month. So that way I get even more credit if you're playing that game. Do you don't believe in that?
It's not a question I've ever been asked or seen someone test that theory. I think, the answer to that, for me, I'm in agreement with you. I think Google's clever enough to, look at it as one referring domain, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. However, it's an opinion-based thing. Some people say, oh, no, it's fucking double the power. You're going to have all sorts of people arguing different points of view, and I think, none of us really know the answer to that specifically. So that's kind of how I left it with him in the chat. I was just like, dude, I don't think that is something I would worry about personally. It's not something I've tested, and I can show you evidence to back up my opinion based on that. But I says I'll ask Chris and see what he thinks. And I just think you're probably overthinking it, to the chap who is thinking about that. Just go and get fucking more links to your website and
links, yes,
and, get more content on there and make more money, and don't worry about little things like that, which I just don't see as too important. So that's just my opinion on it.
The anchor text equation, though, we did test that. You do get both. If I link 2 times out, I'll get credit for both, depending on that site. You know? So.
Yeah. So there you go. Chris's opinion is always good to hear. But next question is from Ursol. Good to see you, Ursol. Could AI eventually make SEO obsolete?
Well, you use the hedge word, could. Could I find a golden brick tomorrow? I could. It could happen, Ursol. Could it? Sure. I don't pontificate on those types of things, though, especially since it's my primary income source. SEO is going to last forever. I'm riding with Google.
I think, again, it's a question we get asked as SEOs all the time, and I think it's obviously very difficult to predict what may or may not happen. But I still think even with AI, we can do things faster, better, more volume and all that kind of stuff. But I still think you need someone like an SEO to kind of operate and, you know, tweak and strategize and you know, do different bits and bobs. So is it going to make SEO obsolete? Even if it, you know, what is SEO? You know, so we are doing a couple of tests just now trying to feed into AI. So we're putting a whole bunch of stuff out there on various different websites for AI to pull that information on me or whoever it may be. So we're trying to figure out how to feed in to AI. Could that be the next SEO? Is that optimization of some kind? Of course it is. And I think whatever's in front of us, we're going to have to adapt and embrace the AI technology. And, you know, whether we all have to manipulate AI as such and feed into it and do things, it would still, in my opinion, still be SEO. And, you know, it might not be exactly what we know as now, but I still think where there's money and everything else, there's going to be manipulation and people with brains like ours trying to break shit.
Find opportunity. Yes.
Yeah. So that's how I personally see it, you know, and I think, you know, we all have to adapt, and we're all geeks, really, you know, and we should all be doubling down and testing this stuff and blowing shit up. And as I say, if AI does take over, we need to figure out how to manipulate the AI, and that is what. Yeah. So it will evolve from there, and God knows where we'll end up. So yeah, we'll have to do something. It just leads, it's just a big fucking rabbit hole, really. That's all we've ducked down into, and I think we've still got a lot deeper to go over the years.
Lots deeper. Oh yeah. Speaking of testing, have you ever tested just changing the file name of a video?
No.
Like the title, the description, and the video is about dogs, but the file name you write, I don't know, Pokemon.
Yeah.
Did you ever test that?
Nah.
I'm curious of that. The file name. What about just the tags? I'm curious of these things.
I mean, I know people that have, you know, changed tags. They've changed title tag, you know, their title and all that kind of stuff to see what sort of shit goes on, what kind of movement happens and stuff like that. You know, I know people. I even know a guy who regularly changes the title tags on his website on pages that perform well, because he feels that that's the right thing to do to freshen them up. I'm not saying it's the right or the wrong thing to do, but his belief it is based on his own testing. So changing the file name, you know, does it make a difference? Does it not? It's not something I personally fucked around with.
One thing, yeah.
It's also one of those things where instantly you're just like, how much of a needle mover could that really be? You know, is the file name really going to fucking zap you up the page?
Well, that's what I'm curious of, though. But when you're creating your shorts or creating videos, you know, yeah, it's time. Like, does it even matter? You know, I'm just curious.
Something I have been playing around with, though, is the file name of images that I've uploaded uploaded previously. And I've got a plugin now where you can actually change, because obviously when you upload the file to the media part of your WordPress website, and you're just a lazy bastard like we all are, and you maybe don't optimize those, what happens if you now change them and optimize them? Is there a difference there? And that's something I'm currently doing just now. I'm playing around with some image stuff, and as I say, I've got a lot of old images on there that were lazily thrown up, not by me. The people that were adding the images to the posts, their process was all about upload the post, add the image, and we didn't optimize the image. That was it.
Are you optimizing the alt or the title, or like the file name? File name and alt?
I am also doing the file name now. So there's a plugin to do that as well. So that is something I'm playing with, which again, I think is not probably going to yield amazing results. But again, I just want to see.
It's a penny though.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm doing it on images. So
it's funny you said that. I just got a Mammoth docs converter, because I was like, man, how do I get these images out of these docs and keep the file name, the optimization? I was kind of doing the same thing. Like, I want to take everything that's here and move it over here quick.
Yeah.
Mammoth docs converter.
Mammoth docs converter.
In case anybody wanted to know. How do you post a Google Doc with everything to WordPress?
Yeah.
That's the tool. Now you know. I just saved you a half hour.
Yeah. It's always good to hear these things. But next question from Ollie. Our client GMB has an average rating of 4.3. Our competitor is outperforming us, has an average rating of 4.9. How much of an impact could this be? Both profiles have a similar number of reviews.
4.3, 4.9. If a human being in your area were to do 10 searches, they'd show up 9 times. You might show up 3 times. I don't know how you want to think about this, but we're talking like, dude, you're both spot 4. It's probably just like with organic or with Google Map Pack. If I do a bunch of searches in a row, the SERPs fluctuate slightly. And I think that's what you're going to see with 4.3 and 4.9. What do you think?
I think I would agree, to be honest. Yeah, I would agree with you.
Yeah, like impact, I don't know about this, but what was the second part? How much of an impact could this be? Both profiles have similar number of reviews. Well, one thing doesn't have to do with the other. The average rating is 4.3. We're not talking about rank. So I misread that. I'm sorry, Craig. Is that why you're laughing?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're not talking about rank. We're talking about the reviews. Do I think that the average star rating is going to have an impact if the number is the same? Well, what's inside of those reviews? Are we talking about location? Are we hammering entity? Like, if you have a few more and they're more optimized, it could make a difference. But then I would start looking at, well, which business has been here longer? So these things are too close. I don't think it would have an effect, no. I've been wrong, though, lots of times.
I mean, the long and short of this is how much of an impact would that have? I think there's other things that you can be doing to impact your rankings on the GMB. I just genuinely don't think 4.3 or 4.9 is going to have a huge impact. I mean, you could argue all day long, that 4.9 is going to get more clicks, and which in turn is more engagement and all that kind of stuff. But I think you can obviously manipulate that with some CTR and stuff like that to outperform that person. So yeah, I'm not sure that's the be all and end all of it. Well, I know it's not that I'm not sure. It's not the be all and end all of you outperforming the competitor. That's for sure. So just
take a look.
Yeah,
I'll go take a look at them.
Yeah, but optimizing other areas as well. It's not just about your reviews. Is the main thing. There's other factors at play there, and if your reviews are less than them, then you've not really got an option other than to try and leverage the other areas. So That would be my advice, Ollie. Eric, if you start to get inquiries and traffic from countries you don't currently target as part of your SEO, what is the best way to start capturing sales from those countries?
Are you using Rel Canonical? Do you have a version for them? And if not, you should, especially if it can turn into dollars. And then I would be focused on what's the CRO for that region. Like, what are they looking for? Do they want to fill out forms? Or are they custom to, getting on a phone call? Optimize the page for conversion and make a version just for them. I think that's what I would do. Especially if I had a nice volume of people coming. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Did you ever go out there and do that? Create a secondary version? I did it to play around. Like, just take the English content, spin it out into other languages. It'll go.
Yeah.
But I never saw any dollars from it. Did you ever do that and make money from
it? No, not just by spinning it up and fucking it out in another language. One of the problems I have with one of my websites is I stupidly try and target every country with the .com/ENFR and everything else. I didn't spin it up in another language as such. So I done it in a fucked up way. Now, of course, I always wanted to target other countries and various other bits and bobs, but the way that I set it up, I kind of shot myself in the foot, where I would now need to strip the website back to have the TLDs for the relevant countries, and try and go down that route, because at present, the 3 countries that bring me the most traffic on that particular website are Germany, Spain, and France. Now, I didn't deliberately set out to target those areas. They're just the ones that convert better, they get the most traffic, and blah, 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 blah. We rank across 26 different countries. But if I go to, let's say, I want more from Germany and I try and get some German links and all that kind of stuff, then something else slips. It's just a fucking fuckery. Would I have been better spinning up a Spanish version of my website and putting it out there and hosted it in Spain, got Spanish links, and had it all in Spanish? Then yeah, that I think that would have been the right route to go down. But the situation that I'm in, I built the website without considering those things, and I'm now in a position where I can't really revert back on it. So I would love to, Chris. It'd be the easiest thing in the world. Let's say I've got my .com there, and I'm getting a lot of traffic from the US and everything. Could I spin that out in Spanish and put the hreflang tags on there to basically say, guys, this is not duplicate content. This is my Spanish version of the website. And is that going to work? Yeah, of course it can fucking work. It's not what I done, but and I wish that was the option that was available for me. It's not the option I've got available for me, but yeah.
Yeah, but what you did, isn't that what Neil did? Like, his versions are / Brazil or India. You did the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So it was effective for him. Isn't Moz set up like that too?
Yeah, it could be effective for certain businesses, but the way I look at it is, I work in a certain area to try and push traffic in a certain area, and other shit dips. It's just like fucking, it's crazy. And for me, when you look at Amazon's structure, where they have a different TLD for every country, I know you've got arguments that it's another website, another hosting cost, another domain cost, another management cost. But I think that genuinely is the right way if you want the control and ability to do it the best way possible. So I think because Neil Patel done it, doesn't mean it was the right thing to do.
That's true.
In my opinion, could it have been done better? He can argue and say, fuck you, dude, I did do it right, and that's the way I see it, and I'm making X amount of money and blah, 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 blah. But Amazon and stuff have done it that way, and I firmly believe that Amazon would have had the right people advising of the best overall growth structure. So when you look at a company of that stature, I think it's very, very hard to argue that potentially is the right structure.
Facts. It's hard to argue. Neil Patel How's market cap versus Amazon? Yeah, I'm rocking with Amazon. I agree, Craig. That was a horrible example there, Chris. Yeah. So it was good enough, but we could have did better. But really, though, like how much I could see India, I could see China, Brazil, maybe. Would you want to hit them all, though? Nah.
I mean, I wouldn't want to hit them all at the one time.
Right.
You know, I think, you know, for me as a guy based in the UK, I look at the UK as a competitive market, and you know, if I can do well there, where are my other growth opportunities? Now, yes, we can go to the US, but you've got Germany, which has got 85 million people, which is bigger than the UK. Go there, you know, spin up a website, go after that German language, take advantage of that. The SEO is 10 times less competitive than the UK. You know, so when I'm looking at these, you know, I would be looking at it and grabbing, you know, one at a time, do it well, and then rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat and move on. Do I need to go after Moldova? Do I need to go after the whole world? No, I just cherry pick off the ones that I want to pick off, and the ones that are likely to convert and do money. You know, I don't know how many countries there are in the world, but I don't need to do it for them all.
No.
But you know, I'd certainly be picking off the big boys where you know they are, where there's money to be made. And Germany's one of those where there's less competition and there's more 20 million more people that stay there than the UK. So it's often ignored. Spain and France are also massive and untapped from an SEO point of view in some ways. So yeah, that's how I kind of view it anyway.
Until now.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, wow, I wonder what the search volume is for France. No.
It's also the logistics of getting that stuff to France and everything as well could potentially be a problem. But Eric has another question. For client work, how close to white hat do you prefer to stay in terms of link building, content, etc., to get results? Let you go first, Chris.
Oh, thank you, Craig. So realistically, there's no level of link building that can be considered white hat. You're not supposed to build any links. You need to acquire them naturally, right? So if we're in that camp, right, I guess I'm gray hat all the way because I like to build guest posts. I like featured placements. I build citations, directories. I do data aggregation. As far as white hat on the content, can Google read? Right? As long as I can get it to rank, and then we can start worrying about conversion. As long as it ranks, I'm happy. So as far as content is concerned, as long as I could get it to rank, I'm very, very happy. And then we start worrying about conversion. As far as link building is part of the equation. What other pieces would be frowned upon? Craig, am I missing anything? Link building, the content creation?
I think... I mean, to be honest, we're manipulating stuff, you know, what we do, whether it be content, whether it be link building, all of it's link building. I'm not in this... I'm the same as you, Chris. I'm not in this white hat stuff, you know, if you want to call it that. I think everything that we do is an art of manipulation. You know, how can you do white hat content? How can you do white hat link building? What does that even fucking mean? You know, you're not allowed to pitch to a journalist to do link building, or you know, it depends on what you call white hat. Now, let's take link building as the example. I want to get the best possible links I can get, and I want to mix up the type of links that I can get. Now, would I use PR, digital PR, to get links? You know, high authority, power, all that stuff. Of course, I would. I like to stay as clean as I possibly can. However, you know, being clean doesn't get results all the time. So if I do that and I'm struggling and I'm still being beaten, would I then utilize the kind of grayer, you know, expired domains and PBNs or niche edits to power up the links that I got and you know, that type of thing? Of course, these would be deployed if required, and it's a big if. You know, in a lot of cases, you need to just do the basics right, and you rank depending on your country, location, niche. So I would prefer not to do the all singing, all dancing, tiered stuff. If I could avoid it, one, I want to avoid the cost. But secondly, I would argue that these strategies are not harming the main website, because the reason we do tiered links or do PR or whatever, and you know, if I use niche edits to power up the PR or whatever it may be, there's absolutely no risk to the main money website. I'm never ever going to risk the main website, you know, based on what I believe to be the right knowledge, and that's how I play the game. You know, I'll never ever, you know, pump you know, Money Robot direct onto to the main website or anything like that. I don't think anyone is, but I do believe that the people in the white hat SEO community believe that's what we all do, and it's not. You know, it's a bit more sophisticated than that, and so I, you know, the way I look at it is I've got to do what I've got to do to win. You know, whether I'm playing against Chris Palmer or whether I'm playing against an online casino or whatever it might be, I've got to be as dirty as the next guy. And I think if you're going to stick to white hat, you're going to lose 9 out of 10 times. So if Chris is up to some form of manipulation, I need to be doing that and have something else up my sleeve to beat his ass. And the same goes for any competitor. You know, we're all looking at each other's shit going, oh, how the fuck did you do that? And what's this fucking website here? And stuff like that. Right. So, yeah, I think I would rather do less. But I think where there's money, we have to fight a little bit harder.
Well said.
Yeah. John Simpson, my blog article, not my service page, is ranking on page 3 for a high volume keyword without any backlinks. Should I focus on building out the blog article, or should I concentrate on optimizing?
Without any backlinks, should I focus on building out the blog article? Okay. So you build a...
He's got a service page as well. That should he focus on optimizing that rather than the blog article, is basically his question.
All day long. Well, really both. You're on page 3 without any backlinks. So it sounds like perhaps introducing a factor such as a backlink while optimizing this page and building your supporting content is the best execution. You need to be doing it all, right?
Yeah.
Tune that page.
Palmer SEO right on YouTube. There's also a mass.
Oh, did you hear that, Craig?
Yeah.
got done and just blasted on the screen. So in this particular instance, re-optimize that page. Hit number 3 is really, really good. Build a link, maybe 2, but also build out your supporting. You don't want to limit yourself. Do it all, my friend.
Yes.
Is it a holiday today?
No. How come?
Doesn't it seem a little slow today? I looked up and it said it was National Lemon Day.
There's fucking tons of questions we have to get to.
Oh, maybe I'm just not seeing them today. That's all.
There's a fucking whole heap there. So we're only at 5:15 in terms of the questions.
Let me refresh.
The next one is James Smart. But yeah, keep the questions coming anyway, guys. We'll go through them. But there is a heap of them anyway. So yeah, it's not slow. There's a fucking bunch there. James Smart, about to start on a load of local location pages for home improvement business. I'm targeting 2 cities and all the towns in between. Give me your top tips for building the pages, and how often and where should the town name appear?
Okay, so you're targeting 2 cities and the towns in between. I would be very selective. Take a look at those cities. Get the list of towns. Take a look at the city and take a look at the town. Is Google showing the same results? If so, start making your list. Like, get all the towns. When I look up the towns, is it showing the same results as the main city? If so, I could probably talk about these towns or municipalities inside that city page. You know, I would do the homework first. So if it's just 2 cities and you want to do all the little towns, you might not have to. Just create the city page and then we could talk about those towns and still rank. but double check. That's what I would do.
Yeah. And it does go on to ask, can I be light on text for each location page, or should they be content heavy? How unique does the text have to be for each page? And should I have a location page in every town? So obviously what Chris has said there is, it depends on the area and stuff like that, and the level of competition and everything else that Chris just previously mentioned. So I don't think there's a one size fits all situation. For me, in Glasgow, could I capture a couple of areas within Glasgow throughout that Glasgow page? Of course I can. And would that be enough for me to rank without having to do area specific pages? Then yeah, I think less is more. If I can rank for more with less pages, that is the end goal. However, that is all dictated by your competition and area and everything else there. You may have to do a fucking page for every area as well. Just if if you're in one of those areas, and if you're doing that for every product, it could be overkill. You're going to come up against cannibalization issues and various other potential problems. So I think what are your competition doing to rank for all of these areas? What format is working for them? And it's Chris's famous thing: replicate what they're doing and the structure they're doing, because they're already winning. So what's your the top dog in that niche got, and what's his structure look like, and then build that out and then go from there and try and tweak.
That's right. And then to touch on text, look at the SERP. Again, we're going to go to the SERP, look up all the towns, and then look up the city. Is it the same players? Just incorporate those towns in those city pages. As far as how much to write, look up the keyword. How many words do the top 10 guys have? Get an average. That's probably how many words you should have. Do the same thing for the headers, and that's it, and then run. Now, if you do end up creating a boatload of location pages, you said, how much variation does there need to be? Again, let Google decide. Create your template based on the hardest city, launch those pages, see what Google takes. The stuff they don't take, re-optimize. That's how I do that. Hope that helps.
Yes, hopefully that helps, James. Narmina, what do you think about structured data? Does it still matter?
Informing the bot as soon as they get to the page, what's on the page matters. But going out of my way, spending dollars, time, resources, scrutinizing over every small detail, I wouldn't do that. But there are some key elements on the homepage and on your pages that need to be marked up, like site navigation, the images, videos. Take a look at Google's page. They have a clear page called structured data enhancements, I think is what it's called. Structured data enhancements. There's 26. If those 26 enhancements show up on your page, mark it up. That's what I would do.
Yeah. But I would also highlight, Narmina, me and Chris have always been fairly lazy when it comes to structured data.
Yes.
Do what we need to do.
Especially you and I, it's like, can I have 10 guest posts or write structured data? Like, guest posts. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Darren Muzzy, sup, gents?
Darren?
Almost like Palmer's body is not there. Head, hands. Better watch my mouth. I don't want to get kicked in the tits.
That's right. And Darren's like 7 feet tall. Like,
don't want him kicking your tits, man.
His tits will not be getting kicked. Not by me, at least.
Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. Ursol, with paid for reviews, do them reviews when they just leave stars and no text, are they doing more harm than good?
Every review is worth something, right? If the vast majority is just a star, yeah, that could be more harmful, because most businesses aren't just doing that. If you have 2 or 3 out of 100, no issue. But if all of them are that, that's a problem. So
yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. And I would agree. Ursul also says, if you have a GMB suspended and it failed the appeal process, did you ever get it back by going through the help center thing?
I usually just give up and create a new one at the same location. The location of the business is based on longitude and latitude. If you get denied, I believe and know that it's a automated process, right? When you're doing the appeal, it's either yes or no. If I get a no, I just go right back to the same address under a new email, new Longe and Lad, create a new business. And if I lose the reviews, I lose the reviews. And then I just start back. What you'll tend to find is because it's the same address, same name, same phone number, everything's the same. All the citation, directory work, everything you did kicks right back in. Like your rankings will come back. You just don't have the reviews.
Yeah.
It takes time though. Months.
Not a fun process.
No.
Honey's asking, any quick way to get SEO projects without ads? I think it's wild that, you know, it's very hard, Honey, to get SEO projects full stop, even with ads. You know, there's that many people doing ads, that many people doing all the marketing out there. Is there a quick way where you can go and get leads without doing ads? I think that there are certainly lead generation companies who will sell you leads, but you know, are they selling them to you, or are they selling them to Tom, Dick, and Harry as well? You know, these are the kind of issues that are likely to arise. But can you think of a quick way to get projects, Chris, without ads? I mean, quick, you know, I think is the killer here, because we've both done a lot of personal branding and, you know, putting a lot of information out there to generate that. And there's a reason for it. It's not because we're fucking maniacs. You know, we work ourselves.
Maybe a little, but it's not quick. Needs to be taken away from the equation. You know, I've tried every, you know, doing the Facebook, going into the forums, offering free advice. Nothing is as predictable as running advertising. When that light switched for me, like, hey, money in, money back out, right? Like you're able to reach more people and affect their businesses much faster and predictable. Like if I put $4,000 in, I think ads are actually highly effective. You know, I'd be looking for other avenues, but don't overlook at paid advertising. There's a reason, like, you know, like Google is huge because their advertising platform is easy and it produces leads.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And it's pay to play. If you want leads quickly, pay to play. That's the, you know, trying to get something quick without paying to play. I think you're literally doomed. You know, or really fucking lucky. You know, if you can shit out a quick Facebook post telling people how good you are and people buy into it, then happy days. But I don't think that works. And we do see people all over Facebook and LinkedIn and all these things doing it. It just doesn't work. I get inboxes every day as well. Dude, your videos are crap. Do you want me to do your video edit? And you're like, nope. So I think, you know, it's the same. We're all getting bombarded with some form of sales pitch, and we can't be fucking arsed with it. So when I go looking, the ads are in my face and stuff. So hopefully that helps.
Also, too, there are a magnitude of people that have established accounts on Fiverr and Upwork. There's tons of platforms like that that will farm you work. If you're looking for quick, easy work, I would start looking for. That's a fast way to get a job. Just saying.
Yeah.
They got the flow. They can't handle it. Yes.
Why not?
Why not?
Whoa. Huzaifa. I use Google Cloud Indexing API, create the API key and add the G service account email to GSC as owner access. Will that help crawling and indexing?
Well, that's the objective of it. It can, yes.
If done properly, right?
It's a pretty straightforward process. Like create it, run a request. It's pretty straightforward. Very straightforward. But this is for your own site. Definitely over time, the crawl percentage, if I stack a bunch of links on a page, if I went and checked, if I go check the server log, I used to get them all crawled. The percentage of sites getting crawled in that list has gone down. It's not as good as it was, but for your own site, excellent.
Hopefully that helps. SCI Limited or Socially Inspire. With location pages, do I also have to create individual location-based service pages as well, or can I link back to the main service page for my website?
With location pages, do I have to create individual location-based service pages? You have a location page. I've seen this on sites. I'm not creating a location page about a location. It's always location plus a keyword, which is a service in the local space. So you should be creating service plus location pages, in my opinion. And then, or can I link back to the main service page on my site? If you have a top, you have a top level page about your service / probably service plus location. Depending on your SERP, it might be service plus location right off the root. SERPs are different. Like, do you have a hard silo or not?
Let's twist this slightly. Let's say that this person's a plumber, and they do bathroom installation, and various other boiler repairs and stuff like that. I am making the assumption if they've got multiple services, they're asking, do they need to create a bathroom installation, Ohio, and then plumbing services, Ohio, and boiler repair, Ohio? Would they have to do that? Or can they just, like you say, can you just create a location page about that location?
Yeah, well, no. I've seen people do just location. I wouldn't do that. Yeah. If you have different services, yes, they should have their own silos. They should have their own supporting content, their own location pages. However, let's just look at that plumber example. If for some reason there's, I don't know, tightening bolts, I don't know the different services. But if I'm looking at each service and Google's showing the same result, I wouldn't create a silo. I would just combine those keywords.
Yeah.
I wouldn't create a plumbing and a plumber silo is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Right. But boiler, plumber, emergency, yes.
Yeah.
Dedicated silos for sure. But I've seen that though, where people are creating like a New York page and it's just about New York.
Yeah.
Have you seen this too?
Yeah. It's like, I always show people an example. If you Google SEO training in Middlesbrough, which is a very small area in the UK, if I don't have a fucking page or a post on my website that says I can fucking offer SEO training in Middlesbrough, I can come to you, you can come to me, blah, 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 I can't rank for that fucking term. That's just it. And I can't talk about Middlesbrough and how nice an area is. It has to be, what the fuck am I offering in
what
my
you're
area?
Doing, right.
And so, when people ask me that question, I always show them that example, and I'm like, you have to fucking build it out. And if it's not there, you ain't ranking. It's as simple as that. You might rank for plumber, Ohio, but if you've not got the bathroom installation and boiler repairs or whatever it is a plumber might do, you ain't going to rank for the boiler stuff and whatever. So you have to get them all on there. But SCI Limited has another question. Have either of you done cold outreach in the past to acquire SEO clients? I have started a campaign this week by niching down to a specific client and using a case study. You ever done it, Chris? And was it successful?
I've tried cold email for links, and it's, in my opinion, a massive pain and relatively expensive on every angle. Like what they're quoting me plus the time investment, pain. As far as for acquiring clients, no, because where would I get the list? However, I did do calls before. like locally trying to get clients. Was it effective? If 1 out of 100 is effective, then yes, it was. I would say about 1 out of 100 would at least meet with me and hear more. Whether that was a close or not, I was a young guy.
I'd just add to that, Si, it's very difficult for me personally to answer that question now. I did do everything I could to win clients back in the day. You know, cold email outreach, cold calling, fucking spam, everything. And it was probably a lot more effective back then than it is now, is the point. You know, is that cold outreach likely to do as well as it did? I don't think so. I just think that you need to try and get other ways of getting in front of the right person in that business. And would that be networking? Would that be going to the local business events and trying to talk to small business owners and then pitching there, rather than doing a cold email? I think your time might be, you know, I think you've got to try everything, but you've got to see, you know, I could nip down to the local, you know, chamber. They've got a meet up on, and I'll go and talk to all these small businesses, and speak to those guys. And that hour that you spend there might be better use than sending, you know, compiling an email and sending it out to 5,000 guys who are never going to reply. So I think you've just got to try and do multiple things. But I just think cold email outreach is very, very difficult to get any kind of volume. That's just a luck game. That's it.
Tough.
Yeah, but it was good back in the day, man. It fucking spam worked, and we went through yellow pages and phoned people and all that stuff. So that's the kind of
Craigslist.
yeah, all of that shit, man. It was easy, easier back in the day, shall I say? Probably not fair to say it was easy. But Big Kazbula is here. Boom, boom, boom. Big Kazbula is in the room. Sorry, I am late, fine gentlemen. I urgently require TripAdvisor reviews. Are you aware of a reputable vendor? 30 to 40 per calendar month.
Sorry, I don't. How about you, Craig?
I don't. I'm pretty sure Kazbula has actually asked me this before, and I don't. I'm not aware of anyone that does TripAdvisor reviews. I think that's the pain there, is just that particular platform and how you would get multiple accounts that are trusted and warmed up and everything else to do that thing. I think the cost of such a vendor would probably outweigh the cost for that person in terms of profitability. That's why there's not a lot of people doing it. So I don't know. I'm sure there is someone out there who does a great job on it.
Is that a hard one? TripAdvisor.
Let me check. I'm pretty sure it costs you to be on TripAdvisor. Does it not? I think that's where the problem lies, is you need to pay for a TripAdvisor account, do you not?
I don't know. But still, wow, some of these places have a ton of reviews. Wild. Oh, so they're vetted accounts.
I know someone who does get them from somewhere. I'm not going to mention any names. It's not fair to do that. But Kazbula, if you really want to know, I know a mutual friend who gets those. Don't know where from, but I know he gets them. So there is someone out there that does it. But how they do it, I don't know. Unfortunately. Ollie, are there any rank and rent niches that you recommend avoiding in terms of ones who will cause you a lot of stress when trying to sell leads to? Most of them, Ollie, is the fucking answer. All those home improvement guys are bastards. They don't want to pay a good fee for it. My advice to people who ask that question would be professional people, lawyers, dentists, hair transplant people, cosmetic surgeons, that type of thing are, it's a high ticket item. They're then prepared to pay you for a lead and a nice fee at that. I just think at the bottom of the barrel, when you're dealing with gutter cleaners or roof repairs and that type of thing, I just don't think there's a lot of margin in it anyway. For the guy cleaning the gutters, and they're just going to give you shit, and they don't want to pay for your leads. They want it for peanuts or free. So that's the bottom of the barrel I would try and avoid. But that's just based on my personal experience. But Chris, what do you think?
Any home service stuff, but definitely water damage restoration, good. Windows, good. Yeah, like any home service stuff that's oversaturated, tons of new players coming in and out. Nobody wants to pay. There are some that pay. I don't want to say that, but the juice is not worth the squeeze, in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree. One more question from Narmina. Now, guys, we do have 10 minutes left, so any other questions, put them in the chat. Don't wait till we're ready to go, and then I'll pile in. So we've got 10 minutes left, and we'll go through the last questions and, of course, any other ones that you guys put in at the last minute. Also, be sure to give us a little like or a comment below if you're watching later on. And yeah, Narmina, your final one more question, which it doesn't have to be your final one. There's still time for more. Seen a product offering quick index similar to Ahrefs Index Now feature. Is it worth the money?
I don't know. I didn't know Ahrefs owned a indexer. Do they?
I am not aware of that either, to be honest.
But I don't know. In my opinion, I think those dollars could be better spent optimizing the content or acquiring better links so you get higher indexation rates. You know, anybody could get the bot to come to the page, but will it actually go to the search results and will it stay there? You know, if I get an 80% indexation rate, but the next day they all fall back out, was it worth it? So even the guys boasted 98%. Even if I got you 98%, but 5 days later they fall out, you know, I would steer clear.
Yeah. I mean, as I say, I don't know anything about it being Ahrefs or whatever. Is it worth the money? Do people use these indexing tools for quicker indexing? Of course, SEOs use them, and you know they can work. But like Chris says, for how long? Who are you kidding? You don't want to be kidding yourself on. So if you've got 100 pages of AI content, yeah, you can go and force index it and have a high rate. But how long is that going to stick? And you don't want to get into the routine of having to force index that all of the time. Just do better work. Is the name of the game. So that would be my take on it as well. Live F1 fan, any updates on YouTube promotion? Have you seen an improvement in the algorithm since the promotion? It's hard to say, Live F1 fan, in all honesty. Have I seen vast improvement? Nah, I haven't. You know, there's nothing that I can say, wow, you know, that fucking
crushed
it or anything like that. Nothing of that sort. You know, it's really difficult to say. But you also ask, have you tested running ads on live streams if YouTube promotion isn't possible? Then maybe a regular ad to your live stream would be a fun experiment. Something I am considering is, you know, building a landing page and you know, potentially, you know, promoting the live stream more, just to get more bodies in and stuff like that. You know, I don't have a landing page or whatever. It's literally social media, but you know, we're on today and all that kind of stuff. But am I dragging people to the website, collecting data and doing it properly? The answer is no, and it is something that I potentially would like to do, and maybe get an ad to promote the live stream and everything else. So yeah, we always want to grow, and we want more people here. We want to ask more questions. We want more of all of that stuff. So I think, you know, it is something that I am aware of and have thought about, and I've even got Go High Level now, and I was thinking of just creating a page on there, just a lander for the live stream, and, you know, push it around and stuff like that. So yeah, it is something that, again, I potentially would run a regular ad to the live stream as well, and just try and grow it and get more people here, and which in turn grows the YouTube, it grows our exposure, it grows everything. So why not? So it is something I'm considering. Or how about even ads for YouTube Shorts? I mean, I do put out a lot of YouTube Shorts, even just the stupid, goofy things. And I don't run ads to them. But, you know, the one we done last week, Chris, where you thought I said kicked in the tits.
Yeah.
When I said kicked into touch. And, you know, I think things like that are funny. Would I run an ad to it, though? Is it? I'm not sure on that, because what I try to do with the material that we obviously create is try to pull out the fun or the controversial elements of it and put that out in social media to try and encourage people along to the next one. You know, would I go a step far to try and put an ad to those? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure I'd do that. Of course, I think running an ad to the live stream would be a good idea, but running it to shorts, I'm not so sure. What do you think of that, Chris? Was that something you think would work?
Running advertising to a YouTube short?
Yeah. I mean,
what's the objective? To increase subs, views, or to push to sales?
I think it would have to be mainly for subs and exposure rather than sales, because if I'm pushing people through a YouTube short to try and come to this live stream, of course you might argue that someone might buy consultancy from you or buy links from you or whatever it might be. But is that the main objective of doing this? No, it's to be educational, it's to grow your brand, it's to get more subs, it's, you know, it's a bit of everything. But would you run paid ads for that? I'm not so sure.
Nah, not for that objective. No.
Yeah.
But I did find that running paid towards shorts was relatively cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot more visibility, a lot more impressions, a lot more engagement overall. It's just cheaper and faster. But as far as like actually growing the brand, nah, it's just cheap visibility.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, you could set up the sequences in YouTube. Like,
yeah.
Like, oh, hey, if they come 3 times during the day, show them this ad, show them this ad, show them this ad. Well, if they made it for 80% of this, I'm going to show them this.
Yeah.
If they watch 10 seconds of this, all right, hit them with this. So I think that's, but as far as growing the YouTube channel or the brand or pushing them to a live stream, I that's never been my objective. I did try that promotional tab though. Like when I started seeing you go, I did both versions. I think one was engagement, one was viewers or something, or subs.
Yeah.
It was 2 different types. I did both. For me, it was relatively expensive. And well, I'm cheap though. So it was very expensive.
It wasn't the cheapest exercise I've ever done, Chris. Let's put it that way.
And that's what I mean. It was expensive, and yes, I gained a lot of subs, and I had a nice run. But when I was tracking and looking at the website, but nobody came over to the site. Nobody went to the mastermind. No, they didn't visit anything else. They were like trapped in YouTube, and I was like, it's like $700 for that. That made me sad.
That's the thing with YouTube, though. People don't click in links and they don't go off it. You know, they watch the next video and the next video and the next video. That, you know, that's the nature of YouTube. I think they're not there to be led off platform, and that gives us a bit of a problem, because we do want to increase sales in the mastermind and various other bits and bobs. So yeah. But Narmina, I may be wrong here, just placing a link on the keyword doesn't build authority for the inserted link, does it? Beside topical relevance placement, should the inserted link get clicks to seem valuable for the search engines?
So you have a few questions here. Keyword doesn't build authority. Well, okay. So the anchor text that's associated to the link will lend relevance to whatever it's pointing to, right? I can change relevance slightly. I'm not Google, but I can change relevance slightly by adding anchor text that's hyper relevant, right? Now, the second part of your question is related to the traffic. Traffic and page rank, there's no effectiveness. However, if I have a website that has a page that's ranking for, let's say, SEO consulting, right? And it's getting traffic for SEO consulting. It's getting clicks for SEO consulting. And then I could get a link on that page that the anchor text is pointing to my site for SEO consulting. Yes, that's going to be a more valuable link, in my opinion. But what's the gauge there? I wouldn't go paying 1,000. If I could get a DR50 with 1,000 referring domains on a cat site for $20, would I give this guy 1,000 because he's getting traffic for my primary? No, but I might give him 100. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know if that answers your question, but hopefully.
Hopefully it does. And Live F1 Fan says, our YouTube rolled a new update out that hides the description as well, so it makes it harder to get people to click your link. I try not put a link other than Randy's, but obviously people don't click those links anyway, and I think it makes it very difficult when it comes to affiliate marketing and YouTube. A lot of people come to me going, let's do affiliate on your YouTube, and you're like, no, because I know 90% of people don't even fucking look at the link. They're going to hear the brand name and fuck off over, so pay me a fee to promote your stuff. I'm not doing it on an affiliate based deal because I'm the only loser. So yeah, that's how I see it, but they're only testing it with some users though. But some great insights from Live F1 Fan, and overall amazing questions, and we are out of time. That
was fun.
That was
it goes
fun.
Quick though, I think.
Oh, it does. It definitely does go quick. But before you do go quick, do check out Randy. The link is below, the news guy. And do check out Chris Palmer SEO on YouTube, or just go to chrispalmer.org to see all of the other stuff that Chris has. And do make sure you come back at the same time next week. And finally, a little like, comment, subscribe. Doesn't go far wrong either. So
rewind the video, watch it again.
Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you everyone, and we will catch you later on.
Thank you. Have a good day.